Hello, it's Doug Cunnington here. What's up? Welcome to the Friday weekly Q&A. Hopefully you could hear me. Yes, I think you can hear me. And this week we hit 10,000 subscribers. So thanks for your support. I know a lot of people that are watching now are subscribers and you've watched a lot of videos over time. So I do appreciate it. Give me a shout in the chat. Just say hello. I believe we are rolling now, although it looks like there's some sort of a delay or something. I'm not really sure. We have several questions that were sent in. I tried to catch up with some of the questions that were sent in over the past week. One thing that opened up since we did hit 10,000 subscribers is the community tab. So if you go to my channel, you'll see like a community tab sort of like underneath the banner, and you'll see little messages there. So I'm going to try and start using that. I've actually wanted to have that opened up for me for a while, but you have to have 10,000 subscribers before they do. So it was kind of a waiting game. Anyhow, we made it, and now it's sort of an arbitrary milestone. It doesn't really change anything, but it's nice to have reached some milestone. And for everyone that reached out and said, congrats, I do appreciate it. So I see Formulaic, we have Richard, we have Don. What's up? Good to have you. Let me know if it's the first time that you're on. I know Formulaic, I recognize your name from back in the day from some other live streams. So a few announcements before we get into the heart of all the questions and stuff like that. I'm just going to talk about a few things. So number one, there are frequently asked questions, and I try to, they're asked often, hence the frequently part. So have a look. So if you ask in the chat or today while we're on here, I'll answer sort of in a short way. I can't even remember all of the different questions that I've listed in there. There's some several thousands of words. So just check out the FAQ. Some of them are listed at the bottom of the description. Another thing I want to mention is a guest posting service. So I very quietly rolled out a guest posting service. I just did a pilot, ran through the first set of 5 customers, and I'm probably going to open it up here soon. So if you'll see a link for guest posting service over on Niche Site Project. So if you want to check it out, I'll probably be opening it up next week sometime. So you'll want to sign up for the wait list there, and or keep an eye on email over the next week or so. After that, there's a few playlists that I mentioned, the podcast with my wife, and the questions there. So thanks, Stephen, for the congrats. And I see Tao's on. What's up? Good to have you on. One thing that you'll notice the bed behind me, which a lot of people like to point out in the videos. So a comment came through this week, and they just said, hey, Doug, is that a bed behind you? What's the deal with the bed? It looks really unprofessional. And if you want to take YouTube seriously, you need to get a green screen or do something about it. And I thought about it because I've gotten that comment before. I mean, to be frank with you, I don't want the bed behind me. This was my office here. And then we're like, hey, we're going to have some guests coming in. So why don't we get a bed and our guests could stay in here? So that's how the bed got there. But as I thought about it, I was thinking, I'm not seeking to be a professional YouTuber. I thought YouTube was interesting, number one, to me. And it was a great way for me to experiment with another medium and help people. So I'm really just doing this to help people. And I realize people, everyone has an opinion about what you should do or how you should do it. And I mean, I'm putting out free content. So yeah, like I said, I'm not seeking to be a professional YouTuber. And I thought that was a key distinction in my mind that I didn't have before. In fact, I didn't have any ads running for a few years on my channel at all. And I've recently turned them on for certain videos. And I mean, basically, if you want to make money on YouTube, you have to do other stuff. YouTube is just a piece of the puzzle that I found interesting, and that's why I put time into it. So I do appreciate all feedback, even some of the other feedback that I've gotten. This is a good one from this week. Someone told me, they said, "Hey, it looks like you're dehydrated. You should drink more water. Someone your age shouldn't have wrinkles." So, one, I don't know if someone would just walk up to another person on the street and say, "Hey, you look old," or, I don't even know what other stuff. I have some other things coming to mind, but just inappropriate. But overall, I get a lot of feedback, and I like all the feedback, even if some of it isn't quite relevant. And I mean, look, I'm not a young person, right? I'm like middle aged. Wrinkles are normal. I don't know how old people think I am, but I'm clearly like I'm bald, right? Like I'm shaving my head. Like I'm not a young, not right out of college or anything like that. So anyway, you guys ready to get to the questions? All right. Yeah, Stephen, that's right. Drink more water. I don't know. Maybe get more rest. And I mean, some days, actually, I have another good one. They said that they were a doctor. I'll tell you later. All right. Um, I'll tell you later after I answer some questions. They said that they were a doctor and they were giving me some diagnosis. So everyone remind me to come back to that. All right. My man Grant wrote in a question here, and he says, "Do you think there's a magic number that Google looks for when it comes to word content on the site in regards to showing some traffic love?" No, I don't think there's like a one size fits all. I think it depends on the query and the searcher intent. So if it's a pretty straightforward piece of content, short is probably good, right? You don't want to drag it on. In general, like more word count is probably going to be helpful though, and that, I think, granted, that's what you're looking for. In general, I would say 800 words is like a minimum for like the short form stuff. If I'm doing keyword golden ratio content, I'm usually aiming for like 1,000 to 1,500 or so. And again, depending on the topic and how thorough you want it to be. All right. Jam sent in this question via email. "I've never done affiliate marketing before. I was wondering what someone should name their website if they're promoting 2 or 3 products of different niches. Should all the niches be on one website, or should there be as many websites as the different categories of niches?" All right. My take on this is don't do that. So I'm not answering the question directly. If someone's new, you probably shouldn't try to promote multiple niches or have a site that's like more complex. If you're just starting, you should start with like the simplest thing that you can get some traction on and then go from there. Most of the time, especially if you're a beginner, you don't realize how much money a site can make, even if it's, straightforward, 30 pages, like fairly narrow in scope. You could actually make a lot of money from it. So my recommendation is to not take that approach. But in either case, if you want to do that, then you could put them all on the same site. You could put them on different sites. Basically, you can do whatever you want, which maybe isn't helpful, because if you have too many options, then it becomes a little confusing. All right, we got some other folks on. Yeah, give me a shout. It looks like some more people are hopping on here. Thanks everyone for the support over the past 18 plus months. We hit 10,000 subscribers, a great arbitrary number that doesn't mean too much in the grand scheme of things. Okay, Raul says, "I'm in a great mood. Thanks. I got a lot of sleep over the last couple days, so I feel good." O2 says, does every single post have target keywords? In an ideal situation, yes. You have some intent and you're targeting something. Sometimes, right? Sometimes on niche site project, for example, I just want to write something because I'm interested in it and I don't really care about the keywords. That's not the best approach all the time, but it's valid if you want to write about something. Jaren's on, "What's up? kind moderator. Thanks for your help. Do appreciate it. I think you said you were going to send me an email, so feel free to shoot it over sometime, Jaron. Elliot, what's up? Good to have you. All Wayne. We have Hiking Gear Lab, and we have, I forget your name, but it's we on there. I think I have a question in from you. Okay, another question that was sent in. Feel free in the chat, folks, ladies and gentlemen, to ask questions in there as well. We got some great ones that were sent in. I use the keyword golden ratio and it works. However, you notice that you rank number 3, and then the next day it disappeared from search. It's great content. It's still indexed, but does Google filter content it doesn't like? So basically, that's probably the Google dance. My hunch is your site is new. It sounds like maybe at least the post is new if it showed up at 3. So it's probably being tested. So just give it time. It'll settle out at some area, and then you can go back and improve it, or you can get links to it or interlink or whatever. All right. Basically, it's the Google dance. Stuff moves around, especially for like younger sites. And Duke is on. Thanks, another moderator. I appreciate it. Grant also wrote in and said, have I ever hired someone to do keyword research? The answer is yes. If so, do I have any pointers in doing that? I think, so I hired someone that I knew and personally trained. So slightly different situation. If you have the opportunity to do that, then that's good. The guidance that I would give you on hiring someone is pretty universal, whether you're hiring a writer or an editor or a programmer or whatever. Start with like small pieces of like a trial job. So give them a project, let them like earn your trust. And actually, I mean, it's a two-way street. So you'll communicate, trust will be built in both directions. So start small. Your instructions need to be really tight and really thorough. So most of the time, if there's like some issues going on, it's probably your fault. Either you didn't give good directions or you hired a person that was incompetent or whatever. So it's your fault no matter what. Always remember that. And then I mean, you can blame them if they like did well. And this happened to me, right? So I hired a few writers. They were good. They were fine. Then slowly the quality declined. Deadlines weren't being met, and I like gave them a little leeway because I needed their help. And then at the end of the day, I just had to fire like 2 out of 3 people that were doing well for a little while. So sometimes that happens, but it was still my fault for letting it get to that point. Maybe I should have seen the signs sooner. Okay, and then let's see. Anna says, is putting a lot of affiliate links on the same webpage something that could hurt the rankings? The answer is yes, maybe, if you put too many. How many is too many? I'm not sure. I try not to test that threshold. A good rule of thumb, I usually put between like 1 affiliate link for every 100 to like 250 words. Generally, I think less is more, and I don't want to put too many affiliate links on there. Varun says, I'm the best. Thanks. You're awesome. Okay, next we have Daniel Smith wrote in a couple questions here. Looks like we have a handful of viewers on, so that's great. Give a thumbs up if you do have the opportunity to, especially if I answered your question. All right. Dan says, I picked the travel niche. I know it's competitive. How would you work at getting a highly competitive blog up and going in terms of traffic? Would you write more obtuse articles to gather momentum, or write the regular articles, then utilize other means to gain traffic? There isn't much in the way of KGR terms so far, but you're determined to make it work. Okay, so I don't have much experience in that specifically, but I started a blog in internet marketing, which is really competitive because it's literally marketers trying to do the same thing, and they're like relatively skilled at marketing. So it's more competitive. So my recommendation is to probably, go for, I know you say you can't find KGR terms, but maybe go for, look harder. There must be something out there. So look harder for KGR terms or something close. Maybe you can't meet the ratio that you need, but maybe you can get something close, right? Something a little less competitive. And then the other thing, you need to network and like take it from that side, that you need to become a member of the community and like write good content, like some of the best content that you can, and reach out and try to be featured on other people's blogs. That is what I did. If you look back at like just some of my early articles and the way I approached the blog. In fact, there's a few YouTube videos on how I did it. Nothing surprising. I went out and like tried to make contact with people that were more experienced than me, and I tried to like be in the audience of larger people and like network that way. And then slowly, extremely slowly, everything's going to go slower than you think. I developed somewhat of a following. All right. Next, Richard says, you want to ask how to increase conversions for an Amazon affiliate site. You followed my templates and you get a lot of clicks, but a 5% conversion. They don't seem to buy the products immediately. So, Richard, there's a few videos on the channel where I go through like that sort of idea of improving conversions. However, if you're getting a lot of clicks, but they're not buying, then that means you have the wrong traffic. So you need to make sure that they are people that want to buy something soon. So if you're getting a lot of clicks over, it could be a couple other things too, right? If the products are expensive, then that could hurt conversions as well. People don't buy really expensive things as often as they buy cheaper things. So, yep, I would say it's potentially the traffic that is not well targeted. All right, next. Good question though, Richard. Common question. A 5% conversion rate is probably like average-ish. If you have a lot of keyword golden ratio type content, like there's a highly likely chance that you're going to have like a double-digit conversion rate. Okay, so Spousism community, Andrea from Maryland, what's up? Good to see you on. Could using paid traffic in the beginning help your site get ranked sooner than just adding backlinks? I doubt it. So I've heard this theory for a few years. I've never seen it pulled off. So I would say no. If you're really good at paid traffic, it may be worthwhile. There's some logic that you could connect the dots. For example, if you had people on your pages and they liked the content, then Google could see that maybe it was good content, right? I could see how you could, talk your way into that logic. But I don't think it works. Again, I haven't seen it pulled off. I've never seen anyone like propose the hypothesis, do it, and then come back and tell me that it worked. I've tried it a couple of times about 4 years ago. Mastermind group that I had, a few of us tried it, didn't really pan out. We never tried it again. Okay. Called says, how much should you be earning from a site with 10,000 monthly users? That is one of those questions that's impossible to answer. So it depends on so many things. And I'll just make some quick assumptions. So if you get 10,000 monthly users, so that's like 300 visitors a day. So at a minimum, I'm gonna assume it's an Amazon affiliate site and you have buyers keywords. Okay, so that could be completely different. I would say at a minimum, like $100 a month, and you could be making like a couple $1,000 a month. All right. Adrian says, congrats for 10,000 subscribers. And he says, when you started following me, I only had 1,100. That's cool. Yeah. Thanks for the support, Adrian. And yeah, thanks for popping in. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back to the chat or to the questions that were sent in. Okay, Zihad says you started a site. He's a web developer. The site's a year old. You were getting 100 visitors a day, but 2 weeks ago, someone linked my most popular article 61 times in a single domain, and they penalized your site and lost rankings. I know they surely did it using software, and then they disavowed all the spammy links from Webmaster Tools or the Search Console. Is it possible to get the rank back? What's the suggestion? Okay. Basically, I have some doubt that just linking 61 times from one domain will get your site penalized. All right. But I only know the information that he wrote in the question. So disavow the links and then ask for a reconsideration request, and you should get your rankings back fast. So that's what you do. It's very straightforward. The documentation is pretty clear. Okay. Next, and I'll come back to the chat. So Anna says, can I buy linked or guest post if it's from a high DA and in the same niche? Yes, you can do that. I don't recommend it without knowing more details. And if people are just joining up, I am rolling out on a small scale a guest posting service. So there's a link in the description. I'll probably open it up for like customers next week. Again, very limited. I had a pilot group come through, just 5 customers come through last month, and it was great. So everyone seems to be really happy with their links. Still finishing out a couple of the campaigns. As it is manual, it does take some time, and you have to work with the content schedule of wherever you're posting that guest post. But anyway, you can, if you're just going out trying to buy backlinks, then you could get into a fuzzy, not so good situation. But, check out the service. All right. Okay, Ray Han, what's up? Richard says your products are around the price range that Duke has. So yeah, if they're more expensive, people are just not going to buy as many. Okay, JP says you found 9 KGR phrases and they're all very similar. Should you write similar articles or just pick one? So JP, that happens to be a frequently asked question. So do check out the link in the description for more details. Basically, you should think about what the searcher's intent is. And if it's the same kind of searcher that in the same article can serve different searchers, then one article. So if you can combine them and serve the searcher, then you're good to go. If they're truly different, like if it's best ballpoint pen for college versus best ballpoint pen for writing underwater, those are clearly different people searching for different stuff. So 2 articles, even though it could be the same magical pen. Okay, Mark says, do I think informational site will rank faster than an affiliate? You're asking because you're informational right now and you want to build a decent following, then apply to Amazon. I have heard that can be the case in some way. Like there's probably less people trying to write informational content than affiliate related reviews. So my hunch is maybe you can, and I have seen people say like, oh, I publish informational content on my site and then I publish affiliate content, and one informational ranks a little faster, a little higher, blah blah blah. So sure, that seems fine. Okay, exclusive for you asks, okay, I'm going to be a little hard on you. Try and do better with this question. How can you increase your web traffic? You need to increase your rankings or get more content. How can you get profitable keywords? There's a playlist for the keyword golden ratio. And basically, if you find buyers keywords, then you can, do that. So how do you find them? Got to go look. All right. It's not just good enough to have a profitable keyword, but it needs to be something you could actually rank for as well. And if you want a profitable keyword, you could basically go to like any big affiliate site and just see what they're ranking for. That's a profitable one. All right. So pretty straightforward. Richard says, if I tried getting .gov.edu links, no, not in a serious way. I have seen in the past some sort of like forums that were, or just websites that were on .gov sites where you could create like a profile that may have a link in there, but I don't think that is like very worthwhile. Okay. O2 says, what's the purpose of the KGR? It's to find keywords that other people aren't really trying to rank for. Does it help you get acceptance in the eyes of Google? Not necessarily. As time goes on, does it have a compounding effect? I think so, but not specifically, not quantifiable. So I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at, to be honest with you. But if you publish them, you probably will rank in Google. Like that's the whole point. We're like using advanced search command with Google. So that is kind of the idea. But I wouldn't make assumptions where I could just say yes to the questions you're asking. Okay, cool. Give a thumbs up if you have the ability to. We got some other questions that were sent in. I'm going to hit those. So is there any point in analyzing natural keywords found and indexed in Google? So a few of the articles are ranking for something that they didn't intend to. So on a similar note, what's most important in Google Analytics in the Search Console? So basically, yes, it is worthwhile to go see what your site's ranking for that you're not intending to, because you can like maybe beef up your content for the stuff that you're not trying to rank for yet, and then like add 100 or 200 words, answer that, piece of content, right? Answer the query. And then you'll probably rank much higher because you're intentionally trying to answer that question. As far as what's important in Google Analytics in the Search Console, well, it depends on what you're trying to do. So there's like a ton of information in both of those and a lot of tools in both of them. So if you're, setting up a sales funnel or trying to track conversions on email, then setting up goals and funnels, that's really important. But if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, then obviously not important. So without knowing your priorities, I don't know what's important for you. So like the person before who's asking about how you can recover from a penalty, then there's some functionality in the Search Console that's super important, like seeing the links you have, disavowing the links, and then the reconsideration request. Now, if you don't have to do any of that stuff, it's obviously not important. So it's very, you got to understand what you're trying to do. Next, Church of Shroom says, I outsource keyword research, content writing, backlinking because I work full time. I'm doing 1 to 2 hours a day commenting on blogs and forums. In 4 weeks, I'll start outreach from there to try and get guest posts. I'm creating Pinterest pins to promote my own posts. Is there anything else I should be doing? My site's 3 months old. No, that's great that you're outsourcing all that stuff. I would say, this is just my opinion, and I think Duke has other thoughts on Pinterest, but I would say skip the Pinterest for now and just focus on the content part. But that's just my own opinion, and other people love Pinterest and want to go for it. But no, that sounds good if you're outsourcing all that stuff. Okay. Last question that was sent in. Matt D says, I say go 50-50 on info versus affiliate. Does that mean a page with no affiliate links for every page with one? Or can the informational and affiliate content be mixed? If so, how do you measure it? For me, I look at, and everyone has a different opinion. So I say 50-50, and it's basically the like searcher's intent. So if it's a how-to article, like how to brew beer, that is informational, right? In nature, step by step, how to do something. However, if someone's asking how to brew beer, then probably you can recommend some products that would be useful for them. So I think it's okay to have affiliate links in informational content. Okay. Next, we have awesome content says, what if two keywords are similar and one of the posts would rank for the harder something, something? I think I just answered that. And then awesome content further says, but because the post would be shorter than if both keywords would combine, wouldn't it hurt the potential rankings? Everything is a little bit different. There's something called keyword cannibalization where you could be ranking a certain post for a term in which you didn't intend, and then the one that you were trying to rank doesn't rank where you want it to. There's some things you can adjust. So basically, my approach is to publish content, see what happens with real results, and then take action. Awesome content, you can try and figure out like what Google will do, and then like, whatever, you put them together. Great. See what happens, you adjust from there. So my whole thing is I don't know what's going to happen. Like you don't know what's going to happen. Google probably like if you ask an engineer at Google, they probably don't know either because there's like the algorithm going on and all that stuff. So just do something, get results, and then you could adjust from there. Okay, Mode said, I'm from Malaysia. It's 12 a.m. Wow, you're up late. You've been using the KGR. One of your posts was 34. Now it improved to 30, and you didn't do anything. All right, keep up the good work. Keep us posted. Next. Mode said, how do I improve more? Go to the FAQ section. There's a link in the description. And then there's something, I think there's a question like, how do I improve my keyword golden ratio rankings? So read that, do the things, and then it'll probably go up. Exclusive says, how much effective comment backlink for an affiliate site? Can I do it continuously? So I'll answer the second part first. Yes, you can. How effective is it? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. So if you are just trying to rank your site with just blog comments, probably not very effective. If you're trying to do something else, say network and meet bloggers, then it's effective. All right. Next, we have, and Duke says, you currently have a goal set up in Google Analytics to track Pinterest traffic quality. You'll have hard numbers in a month or so. Perfect. So that's a twofer right there, Duke. That's fantastic. And just such a short phrase. Let me explain this for everyone here. Thanks, Duke. This is great. All right. So what can you do in Google Analytics? What's important? Well, you could set up a goal in Google Analytics to check like how good traffic is, right? So Duke has some metrics he's checking, maybe like time on site, where they click, if they exit the site, if they look around more, like what's happening, right? So he'll have some gauge on that. And then further, the second part is the Pinterest, because I was like, I don't know about Pinterest so much, but we don't know until we test it. So awesome. Thanks. Okay, and I'll come back to, I was talking earlier, if people are just, if you missed the first couple minutes, I was talking about, someone told me that I look dehydrated. I need to drink more water because I have wrinkles in my face. All right. So great feedback. I love the anonymity on, online where people can just walk up and say like, hey, you look old and your face is wrinkled. It's great, right? Love it. But there was a guy who, this is a few months back, sent an email and said, Doug, you don't look healthy. You don't look healthy at all. Your nose is very red. I think you may have a disease. You should probably go to a doctor. He said what it was too. And well, I don't know. I think I just said, thanks for your concern. I appreciate it. I try and be polite. But the funny thing is, I think I live where it's kind of cold and windy sometimes. So sometimes I'll go out on a walk and my whole face will be like just wind blown red. I try and wear sunscreen and a hat and like try and cover up. But sometimes like your face just turns red. Also, lighting's crazy, right? Who knows if the lighting's accurate? I mean, I have a light shining like inches from my face. So that's the kind of great, stuff you can get from the internet. It's awesome to have people just give you all this advice. Okay. And that may be slightly out of place. Slightly out of place, depending on when you came in and saw this video. Okay, next, Rayhan says, you're confused about choosing a keyword. Is there any difference between best mobile under 400 and best mobile under 400? My target keyword doesn't include the $sign, but I have to put a $sign on the post. Okay, basically those are the same. Google can figure that out. Richard says, for those who have doubt on the KGR method, it really works, but takes time for the content to marinate and boost. You're at 2,000 monthly views and 28 posts. Awesome. Thanks for the feedback there, Richard, and tips for people interested. Yeah, really just give it a try. I mean, a lot of people say it doesn't work. They think I'm, just full of crap. But usually if people try it, it does work. Mistakes can be made, right? A couple classic mistakes would be to like keyword stuff. And if you're new and you don't know what you're doing, like, make that mistake. But luckily you could just change it, not keyword stuff. That just means using the keyword too many times. And then you won't rank. So Shannon says, instead of targeting niche products, you're creating a site targeting people's niche questions that relate to products. So outsourcing it and currently being written, good idea or not? Well, it's an interesting idea, and I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be good. So you tell me if it works. And Echo's on. What's up? Good to see you. All right. Exclusive says, can I work to write content from the Search Console keyword? Yeah, you can. You sure can. Echo says, do I have any experience with ClickFunnels? Nope. I use other like funnel management software. For some reason, when I saw ClickFunnels originally, you know what? I don't like the marketing and the hype behind it. And part of it was they have a very strong affiliate program. So I remember seeing a lot of sketchy folks pushing ClickFunnels. And I think a lot of people love it. But I use something called Deadline Funnel, and I piece together other tools. It's a pretty Frankenstein setup I'm rocking over here. All right. Okay, people liked the people like overall the troll stories. So there's plenty of them, by the way. So I need to go through them. All right. Well, it looks like a few more people are hopping on. So World Citizen, thanks for the laugh there. Timo, what's up? Shannon, yeah, drink more water. Yeah, more homemade beer. Well, you know what? I think I'm actually solid on the beer side. This weekend, I'm brewing a Belgian Dark Strong, one of my favorite styles of beer. And recently I got a new propane burner. So I was using the same burner for about a decade, and I got one that's like, I think it's like three times as many BTUs or so. I think the old one was like 55,000 BTUs, and the new one, I think it's like 165,000. I can't quite remember, but it's going to be great. And I can't wait to fire it up coming up soon. Thanks for the compliment, Shannon there. Anna says, can I hire a non-English writer, but top rated in Upwork? You know what? You can try it if you want. However you want to do it, it's fine. I wouldn't recommend it. Wesley's on. What's up? You're blessing the chat with your presence. Thanks. Good to see you. And he says, good luck to everyone on the sites who started earlier this year. Let's bank this holiday seasons. All right. World Citizen says, are travel niches too competitive? Not necessarily. I mean, I feel like there's always a little space to carve out something. So there's always people leaving the market. There's always more people coming in at any given time for any niche or any business model. Some people may say affiliate marketing is, starting to come to an end, or using Amazon associates is coming to an end because blah, blah, blah. Like at any point in time, there's always someone saying, something's coming to an end or something's starting or whatever. Things happen fairly slow. But Are certain niches too competitive? Maybe, but if you have something interesting, then it could be fine. Okay. Exclusive says, how can I increase my DA and PA of the site? You need to get more backlinks from higher authority sites. However, I would advise you to not, I mean, that shouldn't be your metric. Like your DA and PA shouldn't be your metric that you're measuring. You should try to improve your rankings. If you're just trying to improve your DA and PA, well, then you could just do a whole bunch of blog commenting on sites and then it'll go up. Will your rankings go up? Probably not. So, I mean, you need to be careful on what you're tracking. Exclusive also says, can I give you the process to get a profitable niche? Yes. If you go to, there's a link in the description. It says learn the niche site process, and it's tens of thousands of words. It's very long, but it'll tell you exactly what you want to know. So go check that out, read it. And then if you still have questions, let me know. And I think after you read it, you'll have a better feeling on like what you need to do, and you'll know what you need to do. It's literally all there. All right. Marcus says, mobile first indexing is being rolled out. You got it last month and it affected your rankings. Any experience? No, not specifically. I have heard there's just been like little algorithm updates rolling out like every week or every other week over the past month or so. But it is unclear like what it's targeting or anything like that. Okay, and Richard says, stop being lazy, but those questions show how lazy you are. Yeah, thank you. So exclusive, I tried to guide you politely, but you need to bring like you have me. You could ask questions, so ask better questions. All right. In fact, on the frequently asked questions page at the very bottom, I don't know, has anyone looked at the very bottom of the frequently asked questions page, where I talk about how to ask questions, and basically, like, you can look up. There's a thing called Google and YouTube, and you can like look up a lot of stuff. And I know we're here now talking, but if you ask a question that you could just Google, we just wasted your question. So don't do that. All right. Don't do that. Or if it is something that you have looked up and it is unclear, well, that's cool. You can mention, you just end up with better questions if you spent the time looking it up, even if you just ask the same question, because you could pepper in like the stuff that you found and other information on why it's actually confusing. Okay. Harry Potato says, what's my take on trust flow and citation flow? Important. No, refer back to my DA and PA mention there. Those are metrics that can give you an idea, but I don't track specifically those metrics for my own site. I will use DA, PA, the CF, TF, the domain rating, URL rating, all of the stuff from different tools to understand other sites, but I don't specifically track those. So how important is it? Not very to me personally. Oh, Victor says, newbie watching, so you're lost right now. How reliable is Ubersuggest for researching keywords? Victor, welcome. Check out a few of the links in the description. So frequently asked questions, the niche site process, those will hopefully place things in a better context than this free for all. I don't know how reliable the new Ubersuggest is for researching keywords. My hunch is it's pretty good for like preliminary keyword research. It should do the job just fine. There's another tool called Keywords Everywhere, which is free as well. It's a browser extension, and it works really well. There's a couple videos on it on my channel. So if you just search for Keywords Everywhere, you should be able to find a couple demos on it. Again, it's free. So, and Duke mentions that algorithm updates were happening around the same time. So I think that could be the case. And, in some of the conversations that I've had with people, it wasn't like there hasn't been like a massive drop like some other algorithm updates. But it's more like just a small decline. And it's, as Google's getting better, like I don't think it's one thing, or at least this is what my friends told me. They were thinking it was more like, um, is there any social presence? Are there backlinks? How good's the content? Like, are there, things that make the site seem full and authoritative? And is there a persona? Is there privacy policy? Like all these things. Are there too many affiliate links? Not enough informational content? That sort of thing. Okay. All right. And then healthcare says, how can a 20 post webpage rank? Um, Content and backlinks. So kind of that is literally it. So content and backlinks. Next we have lost my spot here. Varun says, I have a website that's 2 or 3 weeks old. You have 13 or 14 posts. They're almost all ranking on the second page of Google. Awesome, Varun. That's fantastic. Good job taking action. Keep us posted. World Citizen says, Evan at the end. Evan says, thanks for your help. I'm usually in the background, but writing like a maniac. Awesome. O2 says, when you do the KGR using keywords everywhere, do you select your country or global? Your country. So the KGR uses the LMS, the local monthly searches. Local means like the country in which you're trying to rank. Tima says, I took your advice and Duke's about changing your site's theme just by activating the new theme and doing the changes when there are no visitors. Good news. You didn't lose your rankings. Awesome. Good deal. Okay. Auto 24/7. Haven't seen you around. What do I think about building an authority site if you're the only one for all the work? Take one step at a time. Sounds good. I mean, there's no reason you can't do it. All right. So thanks everyone. It looks like we got 20 likes. If I answered your question, if you have the ability to give the thumbs up, I do appreciate it. Are there any other questions out there? We had a lot of them flowing here for a bit. And I'll take a minute again to talk about the guest posting service. So there's a link in the description, second one down. I will be opening it up next week again for a small set of customers. It's sort of white glove treatment. It's expensive. They're good, very good links. And yeah, it's out there. So you can get more information following the link, and it's not for like everyone, right? Because it is expensive. In fact, I started to add some sort of like really like lower authority type sites or not type sites, but lower authority sites like DA under DA like 30. And I was like, you know what? Let's just get them out. Let's just do really good links here. So if you're interested in outsourcing that portion, check it out. And hopefully I'll work with you. Echo says you started blog commenting and building links, and you've seen an up in traffic, 300 visitors now. So you'll keep me posted. Great. All right. I found a specific add-on that does something called lazy loading. It is really helpful and speed things up and blah, blah, blah. Yep. That's a good one. So Steven says, and this is a callback to something before, does drinking more water help with your rankings? Not directly, but you'll have to pee more is what happens when you drink more water. All right. So everyone remember that. Healthcare says, could a niche site start with one category or multiple? Oh, should it be with one category or multiple? You can do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I don't really mess with categories too much myself. So I used to try and do a lot more, site architecture and like planning it out and have categories and all the stuff. But, you know, turns out you don't really need to. So if you want to do more of that, you can. I would recommend keep things as simple as you can. You can make it complicated later. Hiking Gear says when you take the KGR, which type of KGR should you prefer from 0.25 to zero point zero 0.01? Well, the lower the number indicates fewer sites trying to rank for it. So lower numbers. Lower numbers are better, but that's only one piece of the puzzle because you should take a look at what else is ranking. So, for example, you should Google the term before you write the content and see, is it like dominated by really authoritative sites? Is Google substituting another word or something like that, and simplifying it somehow or changing the query from exactly what it is? So you should always check. Okay, and Paul says, "What's my view on the quote medic update?" So I don't know. You know what? I don't have much opinions on the algorithm updates or views on them. I mean, I don't know what to say other than like you know, some sites went up, some sites went down, and like if you have something more specific, then I can talk about it. But I'm not in the cutting edge of like algorithm updates. It's just I'm slow and I try not to talk out of turn. So that is a really boring answer to a reasonable question. So I'm sorry, Paul. Healthcare says you mean all in a single blog. I don't really know what you're talking about. So could niche site should be start with one category or multiple? You mean in a single blog? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking. Try and rephrase that or something. I'm missing it. Sorry. O2 says, the tool you gave us for KGR. If the keyword is white and not green, can I still go for it? Well, sure. You can go for it. I don't know. I don't know if the formatting is messed up or something like that. If you use the spreadsheet and maybe you copied some cells or something like that, the formatting may be off. So I would say you could look at the number. If it's 0.25 or less, you can go for it. Or if it's higher, you can go for it too. You just may not get the same results. Jermaine says KGR is really awesome. You started testing around August and you're on the first page for a few terms and number one for some of them. You're looking to scale when you get some time. Nice. Wrestling Empire says, if I post some KGR content and get some ranking in Google, on the other hand, I post some articles with higher search volume, does that help me with ranking the article with more search volume? Let me read that again. If I post some KGR contents and get some rankings in Google, and on the other hand, I post some articles with higher search volume, does that help me with ranking the article with more search volume? Okay. Maybe. Not always. It can help, especially if you link from the ranking articles to the stuff with higher search volume. But in a lot of like instances, it's probably going to take time. It'll still take more time. Hiking Gear says, when am I planning to start my next course? So I just launched the course last week or the week before. So next one will probably be, I think I'm going to do less of them. So maybe in February or something like that. So it'll be a few months. However, I do have some ideas for smaller courses, like advanced. Actually, let me know what you think. So I have some ideas for advanced type courses. So like link building and outreach. So it won't be, 8 units or whatever. It'll be like an hour worth of content or so, something like that, an hour worth of content with templates and just like actionable. It's not going to be rolled out. You get everything on day one, and maybe you would look at, outreach, and maybe it would look at some other sort of advanced link building that most people don't get into when they're first starting out, and it's actually truly advanced. The other idea would be around like content. So, say you have a site and you're ranking for some stuff, but you want to add more content, and maybe you want to improve the content and improve the rankings for what you already have. So, it would be the approach, how you prioritize it, how you hire people on Upwork, the templates that I use, hiring and firing, all the things that you would have to do to say, you know, add 50 articles and improve another 100 articles, something like that in a short amount of time. Are those kind of courses interesting or not interesting? Okay. Next, Jermaine also says for the success that he's seeing, you have zero backlinks on the domain. It has some age, but zero links and zero DR. Richard says for guest posting, you do see some of them are link farms. Do I have a way to detect those link farms? You've seen articles saying using page rank as an indicator. So number one, page rank is so old and not used anymore that you should not use that. I like wherever you read that, that is really out of date, like years out of date. So the thing that I'm looking at for my guest posting service is whether the site has real traffic from Google. So what I do is I check to see on SEMrush and Ahrefs if they have like organic keywords that they're ranking for, and if they're getting some traffic using those tools. If they are, then I feel good about that. So they may have like some, like they may have a lot of uh like articles, like a news kind of site or something that just they publish say 2-3 articles a day. But if they are actually ranking for stuff, I'm like, oh, you know what, that's good, that's good for me. So Richard, do you have any suggestions on like how to find link farms, as you call it? Okay, Duke says that he got dinged by Medic on a. You worked on a social. You worked on social page speed, the number of affiliate links, and the author box profile. You recovered and gained some since then. Cool. And I think the people that I've talked to, it has been around. They mentioned sort of like the about page, the social stuff, and not necessarily the page speed or the number of affiliate links. I think that we're pretty conservative on those just in general. Oh, and Derek, my man Derek down in Georgia. You'll support me on the new stuff. You're looking forward to it. Thanks. Appreciate that. Hiking Gear says you're interested. What do you do for registration and approximate cost? So for those, I'm not 100% sure. So I've sort of specced out what I could have, and I need to spend a little more time developing it. I'll roll it out as a pilot. And generally, it's going to be. I'm thinking the price point will be like 250 for the like one course. Like so, if you're interested in the link building, 250. If you're interested in the content, 250. And then if you bought them together, probably a discount of some kind. So, and as the other courses that I have, you get lifetime access. As I do updates, as I roll out a pilot, right, I'm going to have feedback from the initial students, and then I will take that feedback, improve the course from there. So the last course I rolled out was like productivity. And I worked on that for about a year. I could have done it a little faster. I was doing a lot of other things, but I like rolled it out a couple times before I was like, all right, this is solid, because you got to have feedback. So, yep, that. And as far as registering, if you're on the email list, you'll find out about it. So I'll roll it out that way. Okay. So, Wrestling Empire says you're planning on launching your site with 10 articles. Good. And then post a minimum of 10 articles per month. Is that a good pace to grow faster? Launching with 10 articles is fine. As far as posting 10 per month, um, sure, that is fine. I mean, you could do more or less depending on your budget and your time availability and all that stuff, but that's fine. David's on. Good to see you. How often do I go live? It's been about once a week here recently. For a little stretch, I took a break. Um, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go live more often or less often. At some point, I was doing like 2 per week, and it was interesting. It was also very tiring. It took a ton of time, and I didn't get a lot of work done during that period. All right. Any other questions before we finish up? It looks like we only have 26 likes. Yeah, we have like 46 people. So if you have the opportunity, give a thumbs up. That'll be great. Especially if I answered your question or multiple questions. All right. Hiking Gear says, are you not covering this in your basic package? Please discuss. Okay. So Hiking Gear in the so I have a course called 5-Figure Niche Site, and that is about starting a site. The things that I just mentioned are like advanced stuff. And one key thing with courses is you don't want to put too much stuff in there. All right. So it may sound counterintuitive, but let me explain. So let's say there was someone on who said, "Hey, I'm new and I don't know what you're talking about. Everything sounds different." I mean, where was your name? I'm trying to get to it. Oh, Victor Bester. So Victor was like, "Hey, I'm new," and let's say he enrolls in the course, and then I cover starting a site, looking up keywords, like the very basic brainstorming stuff. And then I get to extremely advanced stuff where I'm talking about like a link building process that may take months to go through. It will be overwhelming and it's too much. All right. So you don't want to do that. You want to have like stuff that can take you from one point to another and transform you for where you want to go. The things that I just mentioned on like advanced link building, it is exactly that. It's advanced link building. So it would go deeper into what I talked about. So I cover what you need to know in 5-Figure Niche Site, right? But then in the advanced sections, I teach advanced stuff. So I hope I cleared that up. And in both cases, whether it's link building, whether it's the content improvement and like scaling content, that sort of stuff, that is different. All right. So that's totally different. Okay. Marcus says, you have a question. The rank boosting effect. Where did that go? Oh, the rank boosting effect of guest post takes a long time to go into effect. You assume it would have its own mini sandbox. Okay. Yeah. And it seems like it's taking a little longer these days than it did even like a year ago or 2 years ago. So it depends. It depends on how old your site is, where you're getting the links, like all the other factors, like the stuff that Duke just mentioned, where you're looking at like social and I can't remember the other stuff, but it's the whole package, right? It's the whole view. So, oh, and Richard says, thanks for the answer on checking whether a site is real. Yeah. So I think if the site is getting traffic and you have a guest post on it, that's good. Paul says the medic killed your site. You lost interest and you worked on site speed as it was rolled out. And it's picking back up. So you may give it another go. Oh, Grant, crap. You got a speeding ticket. Sorry to hear it. And next we have, and Grant, I answered your question. So they're at the beginning. Tutorial lab. How to rank a coupon site like Retail Me Not, because that have not enough contents like blog articles, how to rank it easily. So I don't know. I've never had an interest in doing anything like that. So what I would do, Tutorial Lab, and with a name like Tutorial Lab, it sounds like maybe you do tutorials. So I would go and like analyze Retail Me Not and then see what they do and then do that. Josh says, do I have any tips for outsourcing KGR tasks? Okay, so I hit this one earlier a little bit, and I think maybe Grant asked that. So you know what? I'll answer it again now that Grant is back on. Basically, start small, have really thorough instructions, and don't give like too big of a project at the beginning. So just do a couple trial projects at first. But that's it. Outsourcing KGR tasks should be pretty straightforward. There's like a whole masterclass linked in the description there. So yeah, you could just send people there. There's a spreadsheet and all that stuff. And if you're joining late, do have a look at the FAQ section, especially if you're new to affiliate marketing or the channel in general. There's a lot of questions you probably have. Some of them are probably in there, but the cool part is you'll see questions and answers to things you didn't think of yet. And then it'll just, enlighten you, hopefully. All right. Any other questions out there? And you know what? Now I'm getting towards the end of the stream here. I don't know. I don't know who this guy is here. Any other questions out there? Okay. Papa is asking about gardening and fishing. Can you do them on the same site? Sure. I think that those would sort of fit. I would pick one at the beginning, though, and focus on that first. Wrestling says, if I write more long articles in sites that are ranking for a specific term, does that make your content more reliable in the eyes of Google? Not necessarily. It needs to be better, and it needs to, like, the visitors on the site need to like it better. So just because you write something longer doesn't mean that it's better, and it doesn't mean that it's more useful to the visitors and so on. So it may not be, as useful as you think. All right. I'm trying to think if there were any other cool questions or things going on here recently. And I would say, someone asked about the links, guest post links, for example, taking longer to have an impact, or just a long time to have an impact. And it's not clear to me how long it takes. Just curious, anyone have like, hey, I got a backlink and then the rankings went up in 2 months or 1 month? Anyone have data? Tutorial Lab says, why am I not getting enough traffic? Can I check out my blog? Yes, I can. If you go to nichesiteproject.com/hire me, you can see how you can have me check your blog, get more information. It's it's really good service. It's expensive though. We can do a one-on-one. All right. We can do a one-on-one where I look at your site. We'll talk for an hour. I'll record it, send it to you if you want. And then alternatively, I could also just do the teardown. Some people don't want to talk to me. They just want a video. So I could just record it and then send it over to you. So check out Niche Site Project/hire me for working with me directly. So it would be great to check out your site. It's probably something with keywords and backlinks. All right. John says you're coming too late. Is it better to have a lot of small articles or a few posts that are 2,000 words? Well, without any more information, I'm going to say the longer articles of 2,000 words are going to be better. Formulaic says you may want to run a couple of Alex's sites through SEMrush and blah, blah, blah. Cool. Yep. All right. Yeah. So Tutorial Lab, you can check it out. Any other questions before we finish up? Just good questions, please. Just good questions, please. All right. Yeah. Let me just look here if I had any other cool stuff. No. Nope. All right. Well, thanks everyone for hopping on. I think we came to the end here. If you are watching the replay, thanks for hanging on for the whole time. And probably we'll do another one of these next Friday. And look out for other videos and stuff coming out this week. Oh, hold on. Marcus says you're tracking the effects of your 5 recent guest posts. You have no tangible data yet, but you'll share it in the group when and if you have some results to share. Cool. Yeah, and it does take some time, and sometimes it's like you get links for 6 months and then it pops. Like it's a long time, but yeah. All right. Andy says, thanks again. It's informative. It's after 4 a.m. Wow. Yeah. Drink a lot of water. Everyone drink water. Drink a lot of water. It's going to be helpful. Get rid of those wrinkles, get your hair growing back, all that stuff. All right. We'll catch you next time. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks, Duke. Thanks, other moderators that were on. I think Adrian hopped on. We had Jaron, of course. So thanks. We'll catch you later.